My friends, there comes a point in every life when the silence around you feels heavy, when doors seem locked, when people overlook you, and when nothing on the outside matches the fire burning within. It is during these quiet, hidden seasons that many begin to doubt their worth, their progress, and their purpose. But hear this truth clearly. The private place is not a punishment. The private place is a training ground. The private place is where God shapes those He trusts. When everything seems still on the surface, God is working beneath it. When it feels like your voice is unheard, God is sharpening it. When you think you're buried, God is planting you. What seems like isolation is divine preparation. What seems like delay is strategic timing. What seems like silence is God building a blessing so immense it needs privacy to grow. Some of the greatest breakthroughs begin in seasons when nothing seems to be happening. You may feel the world has forgotten you, but God has not. You may think your prayers are bouncing back at you, but they are not. You may believe you're standing still, but you're not. You are being prepared for something beyond your current capability. God is developing strength in you that can't be formed in the crowd. God is laying a foundation in you that must be set before the weight of your blessing arrives. God is shielding you from premature exposure. What He is shaping is too valuable, too rare, and too powerful to be revealed before its time. God is not hiding you. He is refining you. There are times when God closes every door, not because there is no future for you, but because the wrong people stand behind them. There are seasons when He pulls you away from noise, distraction, and chaos, because your ears need to learn the sound of His guidance without interference. There are moments when He removes the things you leaned on, not to weaken you, but to show you that your strength must come from Him alone. You might feel like you're losing connections, opportunities, and time, but in reality, you're gaining clarity, purpose, and divine alignment. God is arranging everything with deliberate precision. Nothing in your private season is wasted. Many desire the blessing, but not the shaping. They want elevation, but not discipline. They desire public honor, but not the private pruning. God trains those He trusts, and He does it where no one can see. In the quiet moments, He confronts your fears. In the hidden seasons, He strengthens your character. In the private place, He removes pride, anger, impatience, and doubt. God prepares you in private so that when He places you in public, nothing will shake you. He works on the foundation so the blessing will not falter. He roots you deeply so your future will stand strong. You may look around and feel that nothing in your life reflects the promise God placed in your spirit. But remember, the seed never looks like the tree. The cocoon never resembles the butterfly. The training ground rarely resembles the platform. Private seasons seldom appear like destiny, yet they are where it is birthed. You are in a chapter that does not reflect the conclusion, but it is essential for you to reach that conclusion. Do not confuse preparation with abandonment. Do not confuse silence with distance. Do not confuse delay with denial. God is preparing you for something greater than what you have prayed for. God is equipping you for a blessing that will not fit in the life you once lived. God is readying you for a moment that will change your story. Private seasons reveal what your public destiny demands. If God is teaching you patience right now, it is because your future requires patience. If He is strengthening your faith right now, it is because your future requires faith. If He is removing you from certain environments, it is because your destiny cannot thrive in that soil. Every part of this season has purpose. Every hardship is a lesson. Every setback is redirection. Every unanswered question is shaping. God wastes nothing. Not the tears, the confusion, nor the waiting. Everything is a tool in His hands to prepare you for the blessing He has set aside for you. And that blessing will not be ordinary. It will not be small. It will not be silent. It will not be something you can hide or keep to yourself. It will be a blessing that reveals the depth of God's faithfulness. It will be a blessing that shows why the waiting was necessary. It will be a blessing that demonstrates to the world that the private season was not a setback, but a setup. God is preparing something for you that must be revealed publicly, and only after He has refined you privately. When He lifts you, it will be undeniable that His hand is upon you. When He favors you, people will see the difference. When He opens the door, no one will question who opened it. Some of you are in a season where you feel stripped to your core. You lost friendships you thought would last forever. You lost opportunities you counted on. You lost confidence. You lost direction. You lost the feeling of momentum. But sometimes God has to clear the stage before revealing what He is about to place there. Sometimes God removes what you think you need so He can show you what you actually need. Sometimes He takes you through quiet valleys to strengthen your voice for the mountains. Your losses are not the end. They are the rearranging. They are the pruning. They are the clearing of space for what is coming. Many ask for elevation, but resist the process that produces it. They desire strength without pressure. They seek wisdom without experience. They want blessing without responsibility. But God's training is precise. He teaches you through experiences that shape your heart. He teaches you through battles that sharpen your focus. He teaches you through discomfort that builds resilience. He teaches you through seasons that force you to depend on Him in ways you never have before. And when God is your teacher, the lessons may be heavy, but they carry eternal value. They prepare you for stages you're not ready for yet. They prepare you for assignments you can't imagine yet. They prepare you for blessings you can't handle yet. You may not see progress, but your spirit is expanding. You may not notice change, but your roots are deepening. You may not feel strong, but strength is emerging. You may not see signs, but your path is being cleared. What God builds in private is far more important than anything people celebrate in public. God is not concerned with appearances. God is focused on substance. God is not developing your image. God is developing your endurance. God is not worried about impressing others. God is concerned with shaping your soul. He is working on the parts of you that no one sees, because those are the parts that determine the strength of what He will reveal later. He has been protecting you from rooms you thought you wanted to enter. He has been holding you back from connections that would have harmed your future. He has been closing doors that would have steered you off course. And because you didn't understand it, you called it delay. But it was protection. It was mercy. It was rearrangement. God is not keeping you small. He is keeping you safe until the right moment comes. And when that moment arrives, every door He kept shut will make sense. Every relationship He removed will make sense. Every painful transition will make sense. Every quiet season will make sense. There are times when God lets you walk through life unseen, unheard, and underestimated because He is building a strength in you that doesn't need applause to grow. There is a kind of power that only develops in silence. Is a kind of wisdom that only matures in stillness. There is a kind of maturity that only appears when no one is watching. God is not preparing you for a moment of attention. He is preparing you for a lifetime of purpose. And purpose cannot be built with noise. Purpose must be carved in the quiet places where your heart, thoughts, and faith learn to stand on their own. Private training produces warriors who cannot be shaken. Private shaping produces leaders who do not crumble under pressure. Private refinement produces voices that carry authority because they have walked through fire with God and learned to trust His hand even when nothing made sense. You may be in a place right now where you feel misunderstood. You may be surrounded by people who cannot see what God is doing in your life. You may feel like you're living beneath your potential, working jobs that don't reflect your gift, carrying dreams that feel too heavy for your present reality. But don't despise the season you're in. God often places you in environments that don't match your destiny because He is teaching you to thrive through discipline rather than attention. He teaches you to rely on Him when the environment is uncomfortable. He teaches you to grow even when the soil feels unfamiliar. He teaches you to rise above what your eyes see and trust what your spirit knows. God is training you in places you didn't choose, so He can take you to places you cannot reach on your own. The people around you may not understand your calling. They may not see the depth of your potential. They may misinterpret your silence or question your slow progress, but their understanding is irrelevant. God did not give them your vision. God did not place in their spirit what He placed in yours. God does not need their approval for the path you are walking. He only needs you to stay faithful. Private preparation does not require public approval. The path God has for you is designed for your future. It is fine-tuned to your destiny. It is intended to grow you into someone who can carry what you have prayed for. The blessing God is preparing for you cannot rest on a weak foundation. That's why He is strengthening what others overlook. There are seasons when God removes distractions so you can hear Him clearly, not because He is distant, but because He is near. His closeness becomes clearer in silence. His voice becomes sharper when the noise of the world fades away. His direction becomes unmistakable when you learn to listen with your spirit rather than your emotions. God is shaping you through moments that teach you how to recognize Him, how to follow Him, and how to trust Him even when the path takes unexpected turns. You are not wandering, you are being guided. You are not forgotten, you are being positioned. You are not stagnant, you are being prepared for something that will require every lesson you are learning right now. Some of the most significant breakthroughs in life are born from discomfort. Growth rarely happens in comfort. Transformation rarely happens in convenience. God often stretches you beyond what feels safe because He is increasing your capacity. He allows you to step into seasons that reveal what needs strengthening, what needs surrendering, and what needs rebuilding. There are parts of you that cannot grow unless pressure is applied. There are gifts within you that cannot emerge until you are pushed. There is courage in you that will never surface until fear tries to hold you back. God is not stretching you to break you. God is stretching you to expand you. You may not realize it, but right now God is teaching you how to handle responsibility. He is teaching you how to steward favor. He is teaching you how to carry influence with humility. He is teaching you how to respond to challenges with wisdom instead of frustration. These lessons are not given in public, they are taught in the quiet moments when the world is not watching. God exposes you to small tests so you can handle big blessings. He refines your responses now so your character won't undermine your future later. He builds discipline when no one notices so you can stand firm when everyone is watching. Some of you have been wondering why certain relationships ended, why certain doors closed, why certain people walked away, why certain opportunities vanished. But what you call loss, God calls alignment. What you call disappointment, God calls redirection. What you call loneliness, God calls focus. He removes the temporary to make space for the permanent. He clears the distractions so you can see the path more clearly. He disconnects you from people who would hinder your growth. Because where God is taking you, not everyone can follow. In private seasons, God often tests your heart. He tests your motives. He tests your intentions. He tests whether you seek approval or seek Him. He tests whether you trust your circumstances or trust His word. These tests are not meant to discourage you, but to strengthen you. A blessing that comes without preparation becomes a burden. A position that comes without character becomes a trap. A breakthrough that comes without wisdom becomes chaos. God prepares what He gives, and He prepares who He gives it to. For your blessing to elevate your life, and not destroy your stability, He must refine you until you are ready to stand in the fullness of what He releases. You may not see the shift happening yet, but your spirit feels the stirring. Something in you knows that this is not the final chapter. You can sense that something is building, forming, aligning, and assembling behind the scenes. That is the whisper of destiny. That is the pull of purpose. That is the sign that your private season is not permanent. It is transitional. God does not keep you in preparation forever. He keeps you there until the work is finished, until the lesson is learned, until the strength is built. Once He completes the shaping, the revealing follows. And when God reveals what He has prepared for you, it will not be subtle. It will not be small. It will not be quiet. It will be a blessing that speaks loudly of His power. It will be a moment that shifts the atmosphere around you. It will be an opportunity that no person can block. It will be a breakthrough that makes every tear worth it. It will be favor that reaches into places you never thought possible. But you must endure the private season. You must trust the unseen work. You must hold on when nothing makes sense. What God is planning for you is too great to be built quickly. It requires depth. It requires patience. It requires trust. There are days when you feel drained from waiting. Days when you are tired of believing for something you cannot see. Days when you wonder if your prayers are making a difference. But do not grow weary. Private training often feels like battling shadows. But every day you endure, you grow. Every day you remain faithful. You strengthen the bond between you and God. Every day you choose hope instead of despair. Your spirit is fortified. God sees the days you push through exhaustion. God sees the nights you cry quietly. God sees the moments you hide your disappointment behind a brave face. These moments are not invisible to Him. They are recorded, they are counted, and they are used. Your private tears will produce a public testimony. Your quiet sacrifices will produce visible promotion. Your unseen obedience will bring undeniable reward. Nothing you have done in faith is forgotten. Nothing you have endured in silence is wasted. God trains in private so He can bless in public. And when that moment arrives, the world will witness the hand of God upon your life. There comes a point in your private season when God begins to reveal strengths you didn't realize you had. You start to see that you can endure more than you imagine. You can rise after setbacks that once would have defeated you. You can keep your spirit steady even when the ground around you trembles. This is not accidental growth. This is intentional training. God is developing a core within you that cannot be shaken by opinions, adversity, or unexpected storms. Before God elevates a person publicly, He strengthens them privately. He ensures that when the spotlight shines, the weight of visibility does not crush them. What you are enduring right now is building the endurance needed for the blessing you will stand under later. There are moments when God pulls you back, not because you are failing, but because He's increasing the tension for a greater launch. You may feel like you've been pushed into the shadows, taken away from opportunities, or slowed down from the pace you desired. But remember this: an archer pulls the arrow back before releasing it forward. The greater the pull, the farther the distance. God is pulling you back so He can launch you further than you imagine. That pull may feel uncomfortable. It may feel confusing. It may feel like you're losing progress. But you are being positioned for acceleration, not decline. God never pulls you back without the intention of releasing you into something greater in the quiet places. God often exposes the lies you believed about yourself. Lies that came from childhood wounds. Lies that came from disappointed expectations. Lies that came from voices that never understood your worth. God brings those lies into the light so you can confront them in the private season. He teaches you that your identity comes from Him alone, not from your failures, not from your past, not from the people who underestimated you, not from the mistakes you made. You are not defined by where you fail. You are defined by who is lifting you. God is removing old labels so you can step into your true identity without hesitation. You cannot walk into a public blessing wearing the chains of old expectations. God breaks them in private so you can walk free in public. Some of the most transformative moments of your life happen when God allows you to face challenges without immediate rescue. Not because He is distant, but because He is strengthening the spiritual muscles that will support your future. If God rescued you too quickly, you would remain dependent on relief instead of transformation. If He stepped in instantly, you would celebrate the escape instead of learning the lesson. God lets you wrestle, so your spirit becomes unshakable. He lets you face pressure, so your faith grows stronger. He lets you stand in the fire, so the impurities fall away while the strength remains. God is not trying to break you. He is teaching you how powerful you already are. When His hand rests upon your life, there are seasons when your prayers seem to echo in silence. You speak, but it feels like nothing responds. You cry out, but it feels like nothing shifts. This silence is not the silence of absence. It is the silence of watching and waiting. God observes how you respond when His presence feels distant. He watches how you walk when the path before you is unclear. He sees how you trust when the future is uncertain. These quiet seasons reveal the true depth of your faith in ways that answered prayers never can. Anyone can trust God when everything is aligned. But those who trust Him in the darkness are the ones He lifts into the light. Your private season is also the moment when God grants you divine clarity. Clarity that distinguishes between what you want and what you truly need. Clarity that separates your desires from your destiny. Clarity that shows you what aligns with your purpose and what draws you away from it. God often silences the noise to reveal the truth. Things you once pursued no longer hold your interest. Relationships you once clung to are now easier to release. Goals you once idolized no longer resonate with the person God is transforming you into. This shift in appetite signals that your spirit is growing. God is aligning your desires with your destiny. In private, God trains you to hear His direction, not through dramatic signs, but through the gentle leading of your spirit. You begin to sense what feels right and what does not. You can discern when an opportunity is divine and when it is a distraction. You begin to walk with spiritual confidence that doesn't rely on human approval. This guidance is honed in solitude. People may not understand the choices you make during this time. They may question your decisions. They may doubt your path. But trust what God is stirring in your heart. He speaks in ways the world cannot understand. Another purpose of private seasons is to uncover potential you didn't realize was inside you. God often places you in situations that require you to discover new strength, courage, creativity, and resilience. You may feel unqualified, you may feel unprepared, but God delights in revealing hidden gifts by placing you in circumstances that draw them out. He shows you that you are more capable than you thought. You realize limitations are illusions. The barriers you feared are breakable. When God releases you into your public blessing, He wants you to know the power that already lives within you, not to question whether you belong in life. There are moments when God reduces your support system to make it feel as though you stand alone. Not because He wants you isolated, but because He wants you to rely on Him before surrounding you with others. If you lean more on people than on God, the foundation becomes shaky. Private seasons strip away false dependencies. You learn to pray differently. You think differently. You see differently. You trust differently. By the time God surrounds you with the right people, you won't cling to them out of fear. You'll walk with them with purpose. Sometimes the greatest work God does in your life is the work no one sees. He mends the broken places within you. He heals disappointments you hid long ago. He brings back hope you believed was lost forever. He strengthens parts of you that weakness once dominated. He softens what life once hardened. He rebuilds what pain once destroyed. You may not recognize these changes right away, but they are happening. And when the time comes for God to bless you publicly, those internal transformations will shine through everything you do. You might not understand why your journey has taken this course. You might not grasp why it took this long. You might not comprehend why God allowed certain seasons. But one day when the blessing unfolds, the clarity will emerge. The tears will make sense. The waiting will make sense. The isolation will make sense. The losses will make sense. God is not random. God is intentional. God is exact. Every season serves a purpose. Every step is part of the plan. And when God reveals what He has been preparing, your life will carry a depth of meaning that cannot be created by human strength. People will see the blessing, but they will never fully understand the preparation it took. They will admire the promotion, but they won't see the nights you fought to keep your hope alive. They will celebrate your breakthrough, but they won't know the struggles you faced in secret. That's why your private season is so vital. It is where God builds the foundation for what comes next. There comes a time when you must decide whether to keep living by the expectations of others or step into the destiny God has been shaping inside you. This is that moment. This is the time when you look inward and face the truth that God has been preparing you for something far greater than the life you've settled for. The private battles you have fought were not signs of weakness, they were signs of purpose. The quiet years were not empty, they were sacred. Every prayer you whispered in the dark, every tear that fell in solitude, every decision to stay faithful when giving up would have been easier, has been collected by God and woven into the strength of your future. Now God is stirring your spirit to stand taller, walk deeper, and believe stronger than ever before. If there is one thing your private season has taught you, it's that God has never abandoned you. Even when you felt overlooked, His hand carried you. Even when you doubted your worth, His presence whispered that you were chosen. Even when you questioned your path, His guidance gently pushed you forward. God has been closer to you in the quiet places than others have been in your loudest moments. And now He is calling you to trust Him with a confidence that cannot be shaken. Trust Him even when you don't understand. Trust Him even when the path seems narrow. Trust Him even when the past tries to haunt you. Trust Him because every lesson, every setback, and every quiet victory has been leading you toward the life He designed for you. You may not feel prepared, but God wouldn't have invested this much in your growth if you were meant to stay where you are. He allowed the stretching because He knew you had the strength to handle it. He allowed the loneliness because He knew you could grow through it. He allowed the refining because He knew your future required maturity, vision, and resilience. What God placed within you is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not a coincidence. It is divine. And divine purpose cannot be confined by fear. It cannot be quieted by doubt. It cannot be delayed by setbacks. You carry something set apart by God's own hand. And now it is time to honor that calling with courage. So I challenge you today, look at your life with renewed perspective. Ask yourself where fear has caused you to hold back. Ask yourself where you have settled for less than the purpose God placed within you. Ask yourself where discouragement has replaced determination. And then choose today to reclaim your faith boldly. Choose to rise with intention. Choose to walk forward with a heart fully surrendered to God's leading. You have been trained in silence to stand with strength. Do not shrink from the life God is calling you to build. Do not let past failures keep you from new victories. Do not let the voices of doubt drown out the whisper of destiny God has been speaking into your spirit. Let this be the moment you step fully into the faith God has been preparing you to carry. Let this be the moment when you decide your past no longer defines your value and your present no longer limits your future. Let this be the moment when you rise up not with arrogance, but with a holy confidence that comes from knowing God has shaped you, refined you, corrected you, loved you, strengthened you, and prepared you. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. You are wiser, you are stronger, you are deeper, and God has been the architect of every step. Walk forward now with a heart anchored in God's promise, a spirit strengthened by private training, and a mind focused on the purpose He has set before you. Lift your head, steady your soul, and open your heart. God is ready, God is calling, God is with you. And the life He has shaped within you is waiting to be lived with courage, humility, and unwavering faith.